and Rapid City. We are here to hold a press conference to bring awareness and attention to an incident that took place on October 26th, in which both the state and the police department have failed to do their duty. As a community, we're coming together to demand accountability and justice, and we know that this is an important step for us to do because otherwise the state is not going to do the right thing. We're going to have a couple of statements that are going to be read by community members on behalf of the family of the 13-year-old victim in this particular case, and we'll have statements from other family members and parents of other children that were involved in this accident. We want to bring this attention to the community and calls to action for us to be aware, to continue to hold the spotlight on this issue, and to demand accountability for both the aggressors, Wesley and Alicia Cale, who were the assailants in this incident and accident and violent attack. And we want to make sure that the state's attorney does the right thing and that accountability is held both by community and other community members here, both in Box Elder and in Rapid City. Without further ado, I will transfer over the mic over to Dr. Val to give a statement, and then we'll proceed with additional statements from other community members. Thank you.
Petuashte relatives. My name is Valeria Big Eagle. I'm the Director of Strategic Partnerships. And today I'm reading a statement on behalf of my Chue, Triva Afraid of Lightning Craddock. She is the mother of Reuben Randle, who is the victim in this case. And Reuben's grandmother is also here. And so I'm going to read this on behalf of Triva, the mother, for Reuben. And so on September 26, 2024, Reuben Randle, a 13-year-old half black, half Lakota child, was assaulted walking home from football practice in Box Elder, South Dakota, by Wesley Cale Jr. And after the assault, his wife, Alicia Cale, walked Reuben home, yanking his arm and chastising him along the way. Alicia is also a counselor and a mandated reporter. To see her son be beat and go through terror and trauma every day since the assault has happened is devastating and crippling. Her emotions have been everywhere. Every emotion from fear, hurt, anger, and disbelief all at once, over and over. It is emotionally and physically exhausting. She cannot sleep. She forgets to eat. And sometimes she forgets the small things because her mind is still in disbelief of what happened. No child should ever be in fear of walking home and being assaulted by a grown man. Today, Wesley, it's October 21st, it's October 17th, and it is his arraignment. We're asking the state's attorney to fully charge him to the fullest extent of the law. Right now, he is being charged with simple assault. We're asking that they elevate that to aggravated assault because we know what happened to Reuben should never have happened in the first place. However, he needs to be held accountable. We are asking for justice. We're demanding accountability. And we're also demanding that both Alicia and Wesley are charged to the fullest extent of the law and that charges are extended to Alicia as well. At this time, Alicia is not being charged, and so we're asking for charges to be extended to her as well. As a community, we will not tolerate violent aggressors in our community, and we demand that they not be in positions to be able to continue that harm. And so right now, they too still live in Antelope Ridge, in the same community that Reuben still lives, and so that is causing not only emotional harm, but there's that continuous trauma that is happening. And so we're asking Antelope Ridge to also do the right thing. And so I'm going to pass it to another mother who actually witnessed, and her child was also part of the boys that were walking home with Reuben at that time. And so I'm going to ask Amanda if you could come up and make your statement as well.
Good morning, my name is Amanda. I'm the mother of one of the children that were present. On September 26th, my son was walking home with his two friends, and out of nowhere, an older gentleman accused them of an incident, which they had no idea what they was talking about. This man chased these boys, made them fear for their lives, not knowing what was going on, running for their lives, not knowing if this man had a weapon and what he was going to do to them. My son was able to hide behind a trash can and wasn't physically hurt, but he could hear his friend being attacked. He heard it all very clearly. The punches, the pleading, the gasps of air Reuben took. He knew he needed to help and took off and started ringing on doorbells, pleading for help. He was able to find a gentleman to call 911. My son called me in tears, and I couldn't understand a word he was saying. Reuben was also crying in the background of the phone. It was the most horrible sound as a mother to hear. The phone ended, and I waited 33 minutes before I received a call again to find out what exactly was going on. An officer never did call me. It was my son who called me back. I did not know where this incident took place. My son was in so much shock and couldn't even think of the street he was on. I waited and waited, and the officer told my son he would take him home. I finally found out where they were located. I woke my 4- and 5-year-old up out of bed and drove to the scene. The officer explained what happened and stated that the gentleman saw 3 dark individuals and thought they broke into his home the night before. This man asked no questions and brutally attacked a child and threatened their lives. This gentleman's wife, instead of intervening or calling 911, stood there until the assault was over. She did not protect these boys. She then walked Reuben home with no care in the world. This woman is a mandatory reporter, and yet she doesn't have to pay for her consequences. My son Omari has been dealing with survivor's guilt as well as harassment from other students in his school because he was told he let his friend get beat up and did nothing for him. He goes to sleep hearing the sound so vividly from what happened. He has stayed up all night crying a few times, and he doesn't like to go outside even in the daylight. Minutes before this attack, the boys were walking, making TikTok videos and singing, which I received a video for my son before this happened. They were sought out because of their skin color, and now these boys will have a lifelong horrible impact from what they endured. This has affected my family tremendously. We have sleepless nights, and my younger sons are scared for their brother. Why did a big person hurt Reuben and try to hurt Omari? This has been hard for all of us. For all of us parents, the family members, the friends, the communities. This could have been any of our children. My son is in counseling for this situation and obviously will have PTSD. He is having a hard time forgiving himself because his friend was physically attacked and he couldn't stop it. Please pray for these boys and we ask justice for Cale and Alicia. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. What we want to stress to the community out here is that these children, there are 13, 12 years of age, were targeted and harassed by a 37-year-old white man who is still allowed to be residing in the same community in which this attack took place. We are demanding that the state's attorney of Meade County increases the charges to represent and reflect the aggravated assault that this man committed against a minor, not only just one child, but an entire community that now has to deal with the repercussions of what happens when we have a white man play vigilante in his own community. We have seen this repeated, not just here in Box Elder, in Rapid City, but we have seen this across the country. We demand accountability by the state. We demand accountability by the police department. We demand accountability by all the other people who saw it and did nothing. We demand accountability by the police who did not act accordingly and provided medical service to a minor. So we are here today to make sure that this person is arraigned, and we will continue to follow and make sure that there is accountability. We will be sending out a couple of calls to actions, one of them being asking for these people to be fired from the positions of employment because they are dealing with people in mental health, public safety, and have shown through these actions that they should not be in those positions of employment. We're asking for the state's attorney to increase the charges, and we will be making sure and following through to ensure that there is accountability for Reuben, for all the other children that were involved, and to demand that this doesn't happen again, and for these two aggressors to be held accountable and be evicted from their place of residence. We won't be taking any questions at the moment, but we encourage the press and anybody else that wants to reach out and get more information to come meet with us after this. We will be sharing more on our social medias and in our different platforms, other different calls to action, and we encourage the community to keep talking about this issue because it's an issue that doesn't only happen here, it happens everywhere, and we need to make sure that we're protecting our children from people who believe that violence and attacking folks based on their color is okay. We want to thank you all for coming out here today. We'll be heading into the courtroom right now to hear the arraignment. Please stay tuned for additional next steps. Thank you so much.
I came a little bit late, so I didn't get your name. Oh, okay. My name is Amanda.
Anybody want to just check in with them about